Hey guys, so it's that time when I answer subscribers' questions. So shout out to N Ali, and this is a question he's asked me. Hi, if you don't mind, can you do a video about the best areas in Dubai for villas to invest in? What areas tend to have good rental income? Okay, so I'm going to answer him, but just to give you a quick introduction about myself, my name is Fahd Dawood. I've been doing this for 14 plus years. I started in 2006 in Toronto, Canada, and since 2007 I've been doing real estate in Dubai. Okay, I'm also the author of The Intelligent Real Estate Investor. You can buy it off Amazon. There should be an ebook link down below. If you want to work one-on-one with me to buy a property, or you need real estate help specifically in Dubai, because I talk about Dubai, your life, my life, and our path to financial bliss. There is a form below. You can fill it up and I will reply to you. Well, essentially you get to start talking to me personally, okay? I reply to emails, I check them, I'll respond to them. If we are a good fit and you qualify to work with me, then it is a paid service, just to make that clear. We might choose to work together, okay? Until then, I'm happy to give you as much value as I can over my YouTube channel. Okay, so shout out to N Ali. Hey, shout out to IMR Kids Fun TV as well, by the way, because they're always leaving nice comments in my comment section. If you want a shout out, leave a nice comment, or if you want a video response to any of your questions, put them in the comment section. Okay, so just to repeat the question again. Hi, if you don't mind, can you do a video about the best areas in Dubai for villas to invest in? What areas tend to have good rental income? Okay, so check this out. Let me give you a generic way of looking at this and then take you towards a more systemized, organized way of looking at this. So the simple way to look at this is you would look at prices, right? So you would look at prices that are advertised on the, let's call them, they're like MLSs, but they're more like property advertisement portals, okay? So the big portals in Dubai are Property Finder, Bayut, and Dubizzle. So what would you do? Essentially speaking, you would start by looking at prices on all of these portals. Now, here's the thing. You might know this, you might not know this. If you don't, let me share this with you. Prices advertised on the property advertisement portals in Dubai can be fairly misleading, okay? Why do I state that? There are agents who post really low prices to collect leads. These are for properties that are either not available. If you call them, you'll find out they're essentially dud listings. And the real estate regulatory agency and property portals have come a long way over the last 5, 6, 7 years to make sure fake listings get taken off. Okay, so there's one extreme where the price would be extremely low on any property you're looking at. Then there's the other extreme where inexperienced agents are going to take on any listing, even if they know or believe it will not sell in today's market. So you've got two extremes of the prices. You essentially need to come up with what is the middle level or the middle prices. Yeah, so you need it takes a little bit of calling agents, asking the right questions, understanding if the property is available or not. And sometimes agents are guarded. They won't share this information with you, but they'll share it with us. Okay, that's one. So if you're looking at property portals, you look at the prices, right? Then you need to understand, are these realistic prices, as in, are the villas actually selling for these prices, or are these only advertised prices? A general rule of thumb used to be in Dubai that any advertised price, you shave off 10 to 15%, because that's what you'll probably save in negotiation. But the problem is, how are you going to identify and get rid of the low prices and the high prices which aren't realistic, and identify the realistic mid price? What you do is you look at transaction data, okay? Actual transaction data for that particular villa community. Now, there are 2 or 3 free resources very easily available to you. FAM has a website, and under their website, this is a real estate brokerage company, fairly large in Dubai, very good. They've got in their website, they've got a area called FAM Trends, and I think you can get pricing there. Okay, Driven, also a real estate brokerage company, has also a website, and I think you can get the same data from there. And then the DLD, which is essentially the Dubai Land Department. The Dubai Land Department is obviously the master or the mother owner of all this transactional data. FAM and Driven essentially pull the data and make it easily searchable for anybody else to actually come up with that. Now, is this going to be sufficient? No. Here, you got to speak to an agent to understand prices, and now you start understanding where pricing are. Then you look at rents, okay? Because that's what you asked me, right? Currently, which area is the best place in Dubai to invest in terms of a villa? You look at rent, and the same story plays out, except you don't have actual transaction data access like this. But what you do have, with a little bit of experience and help, and I'll probably release a script on what questions you should be asking agents if you want to get to the bottom line or the actual truth of whatever the price that you're looking at. So because sometimes agents will tell you, hey, when they're selling you a property, they'll tell you like, yeah, I can rent this out for 100,000 easy, but the market reality might be close to 80,000, 85, 70, 75. You can again do that by looking at the portals, but more important than that, speaking to agents. Now, is it as simple as just calling an agent and asking him for a price? No. There is a script that you should follow, and there is a certain amount or number of agents you should call so that you will be able to transmute or calculate that data to understand better. Okay. This is the general approach, right? Very commonsensical. But as I said, this would be very basic, okay? I would like all of us to go from a basic approach to a more calculated, organized, system-driven approach, okay? And now this is what I'm going to do for you, okay? And this is kind of like a framework that I apply for my investors, okay? So what are the do's and what are the don'ts? The number one thing that you must do is you must do a real estate, let's do a strategy definition, okay? So let's say number one, you must define your real estate strategy. I do that with my investors, with my clients. We sit down over a period of 60 minutes, 90 minutes, maybe 2 sessions. We go through a lot of different things in terms of their life, their finances, their preferences, when they want to exit, how much money they want to make, what kind of tenant they want, what is their gut feeling on good views, bad views, do they want to do some work on a villa, maybe fix it up, because see, if you were only looking at this, right, and you chose a community, but what if there was a villa available in a community which is run down and available at distressed price, and you can spend about 50,000 in there to bring it up to speed and then grab massive value in rentals, right? So here in the real estate strategy session is where that gets defined. Are you somebody who's handy with the hammer? Are you a DIYer, like somebody who can do things themselves or can hire a contractor? Or are you somebody who has no absolute time and you don't want to fixer-upper, right? We call those houses fixer-uppers, and in Dubai you're going to see more of those coming out. But are you somebody who's willing to put that time and effort in, right? Because at the end of the day, you're going to be able to get more value out, but guess what? You got to put some value in, right? Makes sense? So you do a definition. You do not go in blind. If you go in blind, guess who is going to be hurting? If you just look at this data and then start your search, I would consider this going in blind, because instead of going in blind, you should be setting up the strategy. Okay, this round thing. These should be the pillars of your strategy so you can build a great house, okay? Number 2, you should be looking at great developments and what they are actually worth, okay? There are good master developments in terms of villa communities, And that's what you should be looking at. You should not be looking at the bad master developments, okay? There are a few, okay? I'm not going to name any, but stay away from these which are known for really bad quality. You might get low prices over here, or on defaulted projects. Now, from what I remember, there was one villa community that was delivered in Dubai. I'm not going to name them, but they were defaulted projects. By defaulted, it means, essentially speaking, during the 2008-2009 crisis, there were developers who kind of couldn't finish anything. There was no money in the escrow account and they left the country. And then other contractors or other developers saw an opportunity, came in, took it over, and then they said, we'll develop it and deliver it. The problem with that is developers who came in to take on a community, it's kind of like you don't know the mess that you're getting into. And I actually even predicted at that time villas that were selling at 3.9, 4, 2.9 million. I think the prices have gone down because of the poor quality that has come about. Okay, number 3. Okay, now here's something that I'm going to say: go with experienced master developers as opposed to inexperienced master developers. Okay, this is very critical. I'll write it in full for master developers. The reason I'm writing this in full is it's because it's very super critical. Okay, I'll name them. Okay, Emaar is a very top developer. They are the people behind Burj Khalifa, entire downtown Dubai, and a host of other communities like Arabian Ranches, Springs, etc., etc. As a master developer, they've actually, obviously, nobody comes fully learned from their mother's womb, right? They've learned a lot as they've gone, and as they've gone, they've just decided, with their experience, they've been able to put in a lot of value in making sure that the community comes together like this, okay? As opposed to, there have been very good developers who have delivered tons of buildings around Dubai, but if they've never delivered a villa community or a townhouse community in Dubai, I would call them an inexperienced master developer. You see, the difference between a master developer is a master developer manages the entire community. Now, of that entire community, there might be 300, 400 villas. And Emaar has a lot of experience because they've delivered a lot of these communities, right? And they're controlling everything and they're building everything, okay? Those who don't have experience as master developers, sometimes in a big community like Business Bay, they might have 5 or 6 or 7, 8 plots, and they could build towers on these plots. But master development means that you provide the road infrastructure, the telecom mast towers, the electricity. All of that is a different ballgame. And what I've seen is the inexperienced master developers, I don't want to name them, okay? They've not been successful in integrating the community very well. Like, they've built a good community. It looks good. It looks great. However, the coming together of that community is still not smooth. And there's few master developers that have launched villa communities recently. If they are inexperienced in bringing the full community together, I would stay away. Like, I would still look at the value in there, right? Okay, so I hope that helps. Number 4, look at your pocket, right? How much money do you have, right? So go with what you have and don't overspend, okay? And I've seen this happen. People go into communities looking for deals, they fall in love, and they end up spending more instead of less, okay? Now you asked me, like, what's the best villa community? And I'm going to say something like, regardless of whatever is the best villa community, if you're not able to negotiate price, because there's a process, there's a method to the madness. This, I've just highlighted a few points, right? So this is like price, okay? And I'll explain my final point over here, okay? When I say price here and I do a tick mark here, this means you've got a good deal. When I put price over here and I put a red mark over here. It's supposed to be working. They are brand new. When I put a red mark here, that means you couldn't haggle well enough, and your agent couldn't haggle well enough, and essentially speaking, you got, I'm not going to say you got ripped off, but you couldn't get the deal that you were looking to absolutely get, right? Does that make sense to you? So this is not the complete process. This is just partially or part of it, okay? But regardless of where you are at, once you've identified 2 or 3 or 1 villa community that you're completely satisfied in terms of the numbers, the desire to purchase there, and your soul, and you're emotionally happy, right? You still have to negotiate for the best price. Now, I do that using templates, using experience, and just doing it the right way. I learned this, right? I spent hundreds of thousands of dirhams to learn the right way to negotiate. I had to literally go and work somewhere, kind of like give away my freedom so I could learn from them, okay? So if you can't, whatever you do here, if you can't do this and you get the price wrong or you can't negotiate right, it's not going to be a good deal, right? Does that make sense? So just don't look at what's the best villa community to rent in. There's a lot of other things that make a person whole. It's kind of like bringing up your child, right? You can't just think about, hey, what's the best school I can put my child in? Yeah, maybe there's a good boarding school you can put him in, but there's a lot of other things that are going to come about in his upbringing and in his character development, in making him a wholesome child, right? So I hope this helps. I've not been wanting to give you a definitive answer because the real estate strategy defines where or what makes sense, okay? I'm not a sales, yes, I do sell real estate, but I don't sell just one product. So I'm not going to say, oh, buy in this project because this one's super great. Sometimes I do that, but I'm not going to say that. So essentially speaking, your real estate strategy defines where you should be making the purchase. Hope this makes sense. If this has been helpful, hit me up, press the like button, share it, press the bell icon, subscribe, share it with other friends as well so that they can also benefit. Ciao for now. Bye.